Good morning.
Good
Morning.
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 Welcome to First Parish Church in Billerica's online Sunday service. Whoever you are and wherever you are on life's journey, you're welcome here this morning. And we invite you to stay after the service for a conversation. This is our first service of the regular church year, which of course runs September through June. And we had hoped to be able to meet in person in the church, but the COVID in Billerica made that impossible for now. Hopefully that will change. My name is Rita, and I'll be the worship assistant for today's service. Our worship leader this morning is Reverend Nanenne Gowdy. She was our minister for a number of years. She's now mostly retired. She is just wonderful. We were thrilled to have her, as our minister for those years, and we're very happy to have her with us here this morning. Are there any announcements? And by the way, please mute if you're not speaking.
I have an announcement.
Oh, Lisa.
My name is Lisa Jameson, and I'm Director of Religious Education here at First Parish Church. And I'm going to start holding small group religious education classes outside in our memorial garden in the front for anyone that has children that are interested. So if that is something that you think that you might be interested in, you can speak to me after the service today, or we can get in contact with each other at some other time. Thank you.
Lisa, when was that going to happen? Do you have a day or a time?
Well, I wanted to, I need to speak with everybody who is interested and pick a day and time that is, that works for everyone.
Okay.
So I will come up with further details as soon as I speak to more of the parents.
Okay, great. Any other announcements? My goodness, I don't see. Oh, Barbara.
Just quickly welcoming anyone who is here for the first time for our Sunday morning services. You are very welcome.
Thank you. And the words will be up on the screen, I believe. And Nanenne will light the chalice. Please say with me the chalice lighting words. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. Okay. Nanenne.
You and I and all of us blew about with the winds of summer, following the sun in different ways of freedom and play, finding rest in the cool stillness of shadows and moving to the slow, heart-struck rhythms which turned the long hours of summer light. Now it is time to gather in. We come together at this time and in this place virtually on the bridge of autumn.
You're not going to change it.
Summer is fading backward into memory, and winter waits in snowy brilliance. We meet with eagerness and delight, needing one another for sharing. We have joys and sorrows and hopes to share, questions, things we care about and want to help to make better, things that we would like to understand, ideas waiting to be heard. Today we are together in gladness, once more the special community that we call our church, the community of all ages that sings its songs, tells its thoughts, asks its questions, and searches together with courage and with love. and let us sing together the opening hymn, Come Sing a Song with Me.
Sorry. You're mine, and I bring you home, where hope is hard to find. And I bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. That I might know you're mine. And I bring you home, where hope is hard to find. And I bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. That I might know you're mine. And I bring you home, where hope is hard to find. And I bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home, when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Let's join together in the affirmation of faith, which is on your screen. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Thank you, Ju. Playing beautifully as always. Now's a time just to remind folks that our Unitarian Universalist churches are self-supporting, and your gifts is what sustains the work of the church. You can donate by, of course, mailing to our post office box, or you can go to the website, uubillrica.org, and just click the donate button. Let's all just, let's just say together I'll say, and people can just say along with me, the doxology. From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of love and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung through every land by every tongue. Amen. Okay, and another musical selection now, I believe. Sarah.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university, where they were put in boxes and they came out all the same. And there's doctors and lawyers and business executives, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and drink their martinis dry, and they all have pretty children, and the children go to school, and the children go to summer camp, and then to the university, where they are put in boxes and they come out all the same. And the boys go into business and marry and raise a family in boxes made of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same.
One of the universalities of the world is a fear of difference. It is very difficult for most of us to be willing to welcome those who don't look like us, or to learn a new way of thinking or of looking at ideas that are not part of our culture. The culture of the United States and other Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic societies is, by acronym, weird. And sometimes our thinking is just plain weird. I find a lot that is weird in our society, like racism, sexism, ageism, and not having adequate gun control, among others. I found yet another example of our weirdness fairly recently when I read the book Hunt, Gather, Parent, which my son-in-law gave me since I am helping to parent my grandson, Griffin. With school reopening and today being Grandparents' Day, this seemed like a good time to share my new insight about yet another way in which our culture shapes our thinking. I have a picture I'd like you to look at. Which line was longer, figure A or figure B? While most of us look at these, when most of us look at these, figure B looks longer when in fact the lines are exactly the same length. This is an optical illusion which was created in 1880. The belief for many years was that being fooled by the optical illusion was shared universally by people of all cultures. But in 2006, it was discovered that some people who are not Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic see the lines as equal. This caused further study, which revealed that 96% of all studies on psychology explaining human behavior were done with and by people with European backgrounds, who make up only 12% of the world's population. We now know that what we have called human behavior applies only to weird people. We are, in fact, different in more than a dozen ways from non-weird people, but I will use just one of them to explain how this different way of thinking happens. Those of us who are weird are literally and figuratively boxed in our thinking. Why there is this difference between weird people and non-weird people is actually quite simple. In the 1970s and 60s, 50s and 60s, the optical illusion we just looked at was tried on people of non-European descent. While Americans were largely fooled by the illusion, those who were non-European hunter-gatherers were not fooled. The cultural difference is that we live in boxes, beds, rooms, houses, city blocks, etc. When we go outside, we follow lines like sidewalks and streets. Hunter-gatherers are not contained like this, but move around. Their temporary structures are more apt to be rounded and domed. When they walk outside, their view stretches out, often to the curve of the horizon. In between their huts and the horizon, they see rounded trees, curved bushes, not straight lines, nor right angles. For the people who live somewhere that has more nature than we do and less boxes than we do, their perception of the optical illusion fell in the middle. They said the lines were different, but not as long as weird people thought they were. This is just one area in which being weird has changed our brain's function. How many other ways has our weird culture, skewed the way we think? Does it affect the ways in which we cooperate with others? How we dole out punishment? Our ideas of justice? How we see the self? Our ideas of what community is? Probably. Yet these are just a few of the areas in which we might find other better ways of being if we are open to them. Since we haven't found the perfect ways of living yet, it would be to our benefit to be open to other ways of being. Back in the 1960s, before I was a Unitarian Universalist, I heard Pete Seeger, who was a Unitarian Universalist, sing Little Boxes and thought it was very funny. After I became a UU, I learned that another Unitarian Universalist, the composer, it was only recently that I understood the words on a deeper level. Some of the things I love about being a Unitarian Universalist is our inquisitive nature, our willingness to learn from others, and our openness to things that are different. We can recognize that there are things in our society that are not working for all of us, and a willingness to change within limits, of course. It is only by being willing to get outside of our boxes, thinking outside the box, as they say, that we can create a better society. With this new knowledge of how to explore better ways of being, come, let's build a land where our brothers and sisters may then create peace.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like a never-flowing stream.
We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born.
Thank you. That's my favorite hymn. Let's all say the words of extinguishing the chalice as Nanenne extinguishes the chalice. We extinguish
Flame.
this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We receive fragments of holiness, glimpses of eternity, brief moments of insight. Let us gather them up for the precious gifts that they are, and renewed by their grace, move boldly into the unknown. Amen.
Thank you, Nanenne.